Hey, it's Katrina again. This lighting never works in this room. I don't know what it is. I did not pick this color. It's a horrible color for a room, but it's what I got. Anyway, so I want to talk today about, I spoke a little bit about it in the last video about absolutes. And I feel like that's a huge thing that's going on right now with people feeling like choices are either right or wrong all the time. That no one's allowed to make mistakes. And I don't mean like politically or anything. I feel like in general, people are having trouble understanding that other people are human. Bullying is insane on the internet because you see a post about, a mother who went to the bathroom and her toddler wandered out into the backyard and drowned in a pool. And it's like, well, where was the mother? And it's like, well, people make mistakes. It happens. Nobody is 100% perfect all the time. Choices are made and you make it with the best intentions. There's a good and bad. I mean, obviously you have to go to the bathroom. Do you bring your kid into the bathroom? Do you, what do you do? So then, and it's in any case. I mean, you've made decisions. We all have that person that we dated in the past. You know the one I'm talking about, that you realized after the fact that you were so wrong about. And, there's pros and cons when you're going to take a job. You get a new job offer in Idaho and you're like, really, Idaho? Not that there's anything wrong with Idaho, but I'm just not from there or anywhere close to there. So that would be a far off trip for me to go to Idaho. But you could get a great job offer in Idaho, but do you leave your friends and your family and the life that you know and understand and your relationships and maybe you decide it's worth it because the job offer is great and the potential is exactly what you're looking for, but you have to weigh each end. And maybe you lose contact and maybe your father dies while you're in Idaho and you miss that and it's a horrible thing and you don't know. You make decisions in a bubble and people forget that. People forget and they regret and they live in regret, or they live in shame, or they shame others, or they bash people for making a small decision throughout the day. Going to the bathroom is a small decision. You kind of have to make it with moms more often than not a day. And sometimes it's the only 2 minutes a day we get to ourselves. Sometimes. So, and things can, unfortunately, horrible things can happen. But does that mean that we have to bash them for it? No, it doesn't. It means we understand that everybody is human. I don't want to be bashed for my mistakes. I don't. I want people to say to me, I get it. I've made mistakes too. That's horrible that happened to you. And then move on. I have made decisions the day my father died, the night my father died. I made the decision to, not do that last check of the night. Like, I didn't always, but sometimes I did. And I didn't do the last check of the night. I was tired. I went to bed. He had gone to bed already and told me he was fine. And I woke up the next morning and he was gone. And I kicked myself for a long time. And my brother said to me, if it wasn't for you, he'd have been dead 5 years earlier. And that really helped. He didn't say, yes, where were you? Why didn't you do that last check? He didn't say, who cares if your kid was crying? You had other obligations, Who cares if it had been a long day? And I feel like people forget that other people are human. People forget that there could be no good choices. And I'm thinking a lot of motherhood stuff right now because that's what's on my mind, because lots of blogs that I've been reading. But, you have the mother with 3 kids who has to run into the gas station to pay for gas because it's the only gas station that they have and you have to pay cash and the card machine's down or whatever. Does she unload her 3 kids to go into the gas station? And one of them makes a run for it while she's unloading them and get hit by a car, or she leaves them in the car and someone takes off with the car, and it's like, well, what was the right decision? You don't know until it's over. And that's what it comes down to. And, you can get into politics with this. You can say, there's always one direction or another direction. And I know that's a huge, huge hot topic right now, where there's a right and there's a wrong. And there's the gun things that are going on right now. And it's like, but if you take away everyone's guns, you're taking away their freedoms. But if my rights to life is more important than your rights to a gun. And it's like, well, there needs to be a happy medium. There needs to be other discussions more than black, white, yes, no. There needs to be humanity.